Good evening, Gotham. Let's see if this is working. If it's working, it's working. There I am. I'm little. Hey, everyone. I think I did it. I think I did the gradual slow open with the intro. I think I did it, folks. First time, no warm up. No, it's all good. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for hanging out. This is Gotham City Tonight. I'm your host. I'm Doell, Ryan Doell. Thank you for everyone. Yeah, again, thank you everyone for being here. There's lots of not lots to cover, but there was some interesting news that came out this week. There was Branden Fraser was on the Howard Stern show, and he did talk about Batgirl. He even talked about auditioning for Superman. We're going to get into that. And comic books are starting to sell out on Amazon, kind of which people were buying from the comic book store. But you know what? In the meantime, let's talk about some recommended reading that they're not talking about. I want to talk about some really good comics that maybe people are overlooking just because they were not, mentioned. I know Matt Reeves has been pushing the comic books, and James Gunn is as well, and I'm loving that. I am loving that so much. In the meantime, let's say hello to who's all hanging out here in the chat. Let's do this. There we go. All right. Who is all hanging with us? We got Jason PPP. Love the show. Thank you for being here. Overseas as well, I see. Flash 739, our resident firefighter. Right? We're going to talk about firefighters here in a second, too. Derek Hoover. Got to pay the dole toll. Bacon McShig. No, I will not take a night off. I work all the time. Fun fact, I worked at work straight until I had to start here. Smoked Ham. Thank you for being here. The 80s experience. My Buddy's Custom. My Buddy's Customs. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being here and hanging out. Right? Nolan, thank you for being here. Stephen Lawrence, thank you for hanging out. Cougar McGallicuddy. Cougar McGallicuddy. That's a great name, by the way. I'm loving that. Branden 3G. Yeah, you know what? The Spider-Verse wasn't selling out any comics. That is for damn sure. It was not. They did nothing. And no, Flash, I was late because of work. It had nothing to do with the internet. Not this time. All right. Vickman to San Diego. Nice chat. Thank you. It's Greenland. I've had this one for about 20 years. I decided I'm just going to yank this one out. Give it a rock. I told myself no graphic tees on this show. I saved that for toy anxiety. Even then, I was still kind of like I find that I shouldn't say every comic YouTuber. I should say the ones I like the most don't wear graphic tees, but a lot of them do. Nothing against graphic tees. I leave that to Abby, Jake, and Craig on Yes Have Some, and with me on Toy Anxiety. And like I said, nothing wrong with it. Boba Wave, yes, let's go. Harry Dempsey, awesome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out. Should we just dive right into it? Should we get into Howard Stern? Let's see if I figured out this as well. There's as we all know, I'm absolutely awful at this. But let's see. We've got the Howard Stern. We've got Branden Fraser. Let's see which one I have here. I believe this is the Batgirl one. We can watch it together. Hopefully it works. We're going to see what happens. Hang on. Just want to say hi to Daniel Balmforth. Thank you for hanging out. Let's find out here. Let me know if this... what do I need to do here? Oh, that's not working. That's not working at all. Okay. Let's see. Give me one moment. Hey, Lucha Johnny. As you can see here, I am a constant professional. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, that's not working either. Okay, hang on. Sorry, folks. You know how this is. As my buddy Paul would say, nothing can be easy. That's what he always says. Let's see here. We're almost there. I promise. We're almost there. Yeah, I know. Little peek behind the curtain. Nothing I can do about it. You would think I would have this squared off by now, but I don't. I thought one thing was going to work. Did not work. Here we go. Let's see. That's in my photos. Let me know if you can hear this. If you cannot, then I'll try to brief it again like I did last week. We all know how this works. Let's find out. Not a hey? All right. Well, I tried. I got to figure out how Craig does that. And I can't get these. I can get my intro to work, but I can't get this to work. I'm going to try one other thing. Hang tight. We are going to do this. We are adults. We can make things work. That's it. Right? No sound. Sorry, guys. Seriously. I can do this. Let's see here. Not that one. Let's do this. Let's try this. Maybe not. Hang on. Here we go. Okay. Just give it a moment here. It is loading. And we will get this thing rolling. I am so sorry. I'm being here quiet. I'm all focused and concentrating. Oh, just won't let me do it. It just won't let me do it. I am so sorry, everyone. So what's happened here is that, hang on. Let me please give myself some background music just so that I'm not like so quiet. So what's happened is that, oh, Thanos Copter's here. Sorry, Thanos Copter. I know you guys are all coming in. And it's like, what is happening? Why is everything so quiet? Again, my apologies. So what happened is Branden Fraser went on the Howard Stern show. You can find these on YouTube. You can get the sound go from the links to the show. I'm just gonna have to have a sit down with Craig on how to host. Without Lexi here, without Craig here, I'm not supposed to be the buttons guy. I'm just supposed to be that guy, right? So, regardless, Branden Fraser on the Howard Stern show talking about Batgirl. He was talking about how he thought it was awesome, and the directors that were working on it, they're known as explosion directors. And so from there, he was kind of like, we only saw there was like one rough cut of the film. That's what people saw. That's what people got turned off from. And he said it didn't really get a fair shake. We didn't actually get to see where the directors were actually, what they were going to do. There was no like soundtrack to it, no nothing. And he just believes that like studio politics and stuff got in the way. And he's really bummed out because he said the woman the actress that played Batgirl, seems like her name. So again, I was hoping to rewatch it, and then I would know, right? But pain in the butt. And Yes, Leslie Grace. So Leslie Grace, apparently she was amazing in it. Apparently he had a blast playing uh, Firefly, and it was just, the character was, character who got laid off. That's a real thing right now. I mean, major corporations are laying off thousands of people. It seems to be this weird corporate trend. Not, we're not going to get into that tonight, but it seems like that's something relatable to what's kind of happening now for his character. So it's really kind of too bad that he never really got to do it. And then in the other video, he was talking about his audition for Superman. Not quite sure when he auditioned. It must have been Superman Returns time, or it might have been a Superman movie that did not get made. Because he's even talking about how like Paul Walker auditioned for it, so we know what era that is just by him dropping the name Paul Walker. Paul Walker being, he was a big deal at one point, and so it's really interesting that he just kind of pulled. Someone said I pulled back the curtain tonight. Well, he kind of pulled back the curtain on kind of what was happening there and how that audition thing worked, and how he didn't give it 100% because he wasn't sure if that was something he wanted to have attached to his name, being Superman for the rest of his life, because once you play Superman, you're known for Superman forever. And that's just how it is. And he's not wrong. I mean, we're all still going to look at Henry Cavill, no matter with The Witcher and everything else, we're still going to, we're still going to be thinking of Henry Cavill as Superman. But yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. I wanted to show it. I'm so sorry. I need to stop being so busy during the day for one hot minute just to get this stuff to work. So again, my apologies. But I do want to say some hi to some more people joined, and I just want to say hi because people do join, come in late, and it happens. Eddie Rodriguez, I love the jacket. I love you. Thank you. Lifelong toy collector. Fraser had nothing but great things to say about the cast and crew. Yeah, amazing things. He's so good, right? Ian J, thank you for hanging. Right? Said hi to Lucha Johnny, but I didn't get to pull him up on screen. The musical is cutting him out. Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. Let's try it. Let's try that. One day I will have this so down pat. I'm not used to doing things solo. Dolo going solo, right? Stephen Lawrence, a follow-up I've watched. Oh yeah, Steve Lawrence. Yes, because you're watching animated stuff. Yes, this is great. I love a good follow-up. I've watched the Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox to the Reign of Superman on HBO Max so far. Just an incredible, rich world DC Animation has built from the original source material. Great watches. I got to watch the Reign of Superman parts 1 and 2 in the theater up here in Vancouver, and I was like, that's super cool. And they started doing that. Before 2020, they used to, when DC released a animated feature, they would play it for one weekend up here in the theaters. It was awesome. Kind of wish they would kind of go back to doing it. Oh, well, it sounds like they're going to. Probably, maybe. Toy Art, thanks for coming up here, hanging out, right? Lifelong toy collector. Yes, that's it, because he did mention J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams, Superman Flyby. I hate that name. I really do. Superman Flyby? Come on. You call it, do what Tom King did. You either call it Up, Up, and Away, or Up in the Sky. Flyby. Come on. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, JJ. Tried that with, you didn't even I'm not getting Star Wars. Not doing it. Flash 739, they said it was a glorified CW show, considering that CW first episodes are actually pretty good. I would love to see the Batgirl film. I would love to see it as well. Now sing something you do not want me to sing. However, tune into the Jeffries next week on Toy Anxiety. You might be in for a treat. The Derek Hoover, I think he's replying. Yeah, he is replying here to Flash. At this point, the drama around it would garner viewings for sure. Absolutely, it would. I think now for a lot of us fans, Yeah, I think for a lot of us fans, there's just that curiosity that comes with Batgirl that we're still so interested in it. Even Howard Stern asked, "You think we're ever going to see it?" And he's like, "I have no idea." And of course not. And he's interested too. And then from there we can watch Batgirl and we can decide for ourselves whether or not we liked it. And you know what? If it's not good, that's for us to really decide. And if it isn't, it isn't. Oh gosh, what kind of makes me, I don't want to get into it either, but I will for one hot second. Could you imagine if Sony decided partway, like, Answer the Call is finished, Ghostbusters Answer the Call, they finish it, then shelve it, they don't release it, and then release it 6 months later, instead of summertime, Christmas time? I wonder how much better it would have done, just out of the curiosity. Not saying it would have been better. I'm just curious if it would. I'm just curious if it would have done better at the box office. I'm super curious. Maybe they should just start doing that with bad movies. I really hope not. I don't really want. But again, we'll see. We will absolutely see. John Ucabe is here. Ahoy, welcome. We're talking Batgirl, John. Yeah, here we go. Ian J. He's got the title down, right? Man of Tomorrow. Yes. And that's a precursor. You've just, we're going to get into that. That's some foreshadowing from Ian J. Flash 739, Superman's lens flare. Yeah, no kidding. Jack Knight 73. Thank you for being here tonight. Yeah, hello, Doell. Looking forward to Booster Gold's show. Never would have guessed that one. You know what? First off, I love Booster Gold. I loved him in not New 52. So before New 52, there was a series called 52. And it was like a weekly comic book called 52. And there was a Booster Gold story in that. Really, really good. Booster Gold was really, really well done in Justice League Unlimited. So, But anyways, let's just get into some recommended reading. There was a lot of, first I want to just talk about the comic book selling out on Amazon. And it's not just down in the States, it's happening up here as well. I love that. I can't remember, like, there are times comic books sell out and they go into second printings. That happens more often than people talk about or give comics credit for. And I will say that I love this. This is something that I wish Marvel would do. Like, straight up, I wish Marvel would promote the comics more. And I know sometimes they do, like, Marvel galleries. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I think I'm thinking Star Wars gallery. But it's called, like, whatever. The making of, when they do their making of Marvel stuff for Disney Plus. And they'll kind of like, we really liked Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, but they won't mention David Aja, who was like, Aja or Aya? Someone can correct me in the chat as well for that. And, they totally lifted from David Aja. They lifted his art, his style, and everything for the opening credits, the end credits, the logo, the whole bit, but they never would mention him, and they would only mention the writer. And I understand that, like, James Gunn did that a little bit as well. However, I'm seeing James Gunn also mentioning more artists and the artists that worked on these books and retweeting them and putting a spotlight on the artists that he maybe did not mention in his, like, slate drop. And so what he's kind of doing now, it's like, I don't know if anyone's on Twitter. I am actually surprised Twitter is still around, to be honest. And James Gunn, I'm watching him interact with Dan Jurgens, right? Like, it's just, you're seeing all these classic artists we've known for like decades. And he's retweeting it, promoting it, and he's pushing the whole thing too of, like, go to the comic shop. And that's the one thing I really want to say is just like, hey, I understand that Amazon's easy. It's hard to say no to easy, right? You don't have to go anywhere. You type it up, you press buy, it shows up at your door. I get it. I absolutely get it. But I would absolutely go to the comic book store and see what else is there. Because even if it's sold out at the comic book store, you can still go to anyone that works there and be like, hey, are you still able to order more of these in? And the comic stores will almost always say yes. So unless, of course, they can't. But they will definitely check to see if they can order it, and they will order it for you, and they will call you or text you or email you to let you know it's in and you can come pick it up. So, yes, if you see things are sold out on Amazon, please go check out your local comic book store, because your local comic book store, for one, it's a local independent business. There's very few chains of comic book stores. There's very, very few. You might be able to go to Barnes and Noble and like up here in Canada, we have Indigo. You know, you can get like graphic novels at these comic book stores, but these, or like at these, you can get graphic novels at these bookstores. But for comic book stores, they're relying on us, the people that live nearby, the locals, to come in, shop, and buy things from them. And even if it's not DC, you might find something that's Marvel. You might find something that's Image, manga. You might find a poster for your kids' room, your room. I'm not going to be one to judge, right? You could find any, like, trust me, just if you don't go to comic shops, I highly suggest go check out your local one. Buy one thing and just help support just help support it. Like, you got to remember, without comic books, we don't have the show, we don't have MCU, we don't have Keaton's Batman, we don't have Adam West's Batman, we don't have Christopher Reeves, we don't have Henry Cavill. For better or for worse, we don't have Snyderverse, right? All the stuff that we love and people are into, it all stems from one point, and that's comic books. And superheroes, North American wise, they all kind of stem from one point: Superman. Right? So, I mean, let's go and support these things. If anyone else also has recommended reading they want to bring it up in the chat. Let me know what you're reading right now. Let me know what you think people should be reading. Let me know what you think James Gunn missed. Like, I understand that he's kind of telling you where his inspiration's coming from, but I want to know where your inspiration's coming from. Because that's a big deal to me too, right? Like, so, and I'm sorry, I know the chat's going, and I promise I will get to you all. But let's, I know that, where is it? Toy Art kind of put it well, where he's kind of like, artists have been getting the shaft lately, or at least I think it was him, and I kind of already lost it. Right here, right? Yeah, toy artists really getting the shaft in these announcements. I really wish they'd get it right the first time. Me too, because yeah, that's great that Tom King wrote Supergirl, but who drew it? That's great that Grant Morrison did Son of Batman. Who drew it? Right? Let's give these people, let's get these books their full credit. And I mean, sure, if you want to write, I know this sounds awful, and I know this is like, comic books at this point also become movies, because do you mention everybody? Do you mention your colorist, your inker? Do you mention, and I think they should. I think everyone should be getting in there, but I think if they're doing a Supergirl movie, acknowledge more than the writer. That's why I'm starting to say that now, because it's just like, when you work in film, there are people that maybe there are sometimes people who don't get credited in films. It happens. It sucks, right? Because it takes a village, man. And it takes a village to make these two big comics as well. You got editors behind the scenes. You've got people working on fonts and lettering and coloring and inking and penciling and writing. Right? You've got so much happening to make one comic book happen a month. And I understand that only two people, or maybe sometimes just one, because sometimes the writer is also the artist, and vice versa. But I mean, it really does take a village, even outside of that. I know it's usually two people that get like the fanfare. You think X-Men, you think Jim Lee and Chris Claremont, right? Can anyone tell me who was the artist, the inker? Probably not. I don't even think I can, to be honest. For half these people, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that inker, but you're just like, that happens, right? John, the cool thing that while he mentions the writers and stories as influencing the stories, he used specific artist work to communicate the tone of each project. Absolutely. And I feel the same way about Marvel, which is why when Marvel does their behind the scenes, grinds my gears to no end when they don't give, but especially when they even show the artist work. When they did the behind the scenes of She-Hulk, did they even mention John Byrne? Ugh, makes me just so mad. Right? So hang on, let's see here. I'm gonna try and catch up. Sorry if I'm gonna be jumping around the chat here for a little bit, and I'm sorry if I do skip your comment. I won't be able to get to everyone, but I do want to hear what everyone's reading and all that kind of stuff. So it's but Ian J here, my kids are obsessed with DC superhero girls. Yeah, that was like super popular for a while. Right? John going into Green Lantern. If anyone's more excited about Green Lantern than me, it's John. Toy art. But how would they say we're taking a visual cue from the series from Gabriel Hardman's work on Green Lanterns? Right? It's just, I don't know. I just think they need to. You can't just lift from people. When people do that in comic books, there's a lot of shit that goes down, right? And same thing should happen with movies. If you're gonna rip off somebody's work, you gotta get called out for it. Charlie Weaver, thank you for being here, Charlie. I'm really hoping they'll throw some serious money at some Elseworlds adaptions as one-off films. Yeah, I want Superman Red Sun, me too. Gotham by Gaslight, me too. Speeding Bullets, me too. All perfect, great choices, right? Branden 3G, he just picked up Doomsday Clock and Court of Owls books. Great choices. Both, yeah. Dude, both Scott Snyder, I believe. Yeah, that's great stuff, right? The Deadheads. Hey, Deadheads. What's happening? I started getting back into old Mad magazines. Okay, that is awesome. I love old Mad magazines, and I also love old Cracked magazines. It's crazy now thinking that Cracked is it's like a website now. Like it's like a meme site of anything. Right? Like that's pretty cool. Ventum de Santiago, I'm reading a lot in the superhero realm. I'm reading a lot in the superhero realm. Just Batman, Daredevil, and Robin. Okay, dude. Vickman, how great is Daredevil right now? So good, right? The last year, like the last year and a half, 2 years of Daredevil. Some of the best reading, folks. I'm not even kidding. I know this is supposed to be DC oriented, but man, I will plug Marvel if Marvel is good. And right now, Marvel has a lot of good books out. It's not just X-Men that I'm completely biased about, right? Flash 739. I have a backlog of trades this past Christmas. Novel-wise, I'm listening to why do you guys put in big words here? Persepolis Rising. Gosh, I'm worse than Craig. It's like I can't read. By James S.A. Corey, and reading Devil Dinosaur Collection. That's awesome. Again, Devil Dinosaur. Let's give that character its due, right? I'm absolutely loving it. The Charlie Weaver, I need to give people the finger. Bill Finger, that is. All creators need credit. Absolutely. And speaking of Bill Finger, if anyone has not seen that documentary called, I think it's called Me and Bill? Let me, I'm just going to do a quick, let's see here. I believe it's Batman and Bill. That's what it's called. If you have not seen it, it's the documentary where Bill Finger gets some credit, right? Like it's so good. It's so good. So I just want everyone to make sure they read that. Yes, Al Williams usually inked Lee. Correct. That name sounds super familiar. I need to get better at knowing inkers. I feel like such a bad fan. Right? Like it's so good. Lucha Johnny, I'm behind, but the books I get are Boom's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, although Ralph from the Invincipod and the live action Star Wars talked me to checking out Invincible. And yeah, it's great. I I think I got some of the right down there at the bottom. I got some of the big hardcovers of Invincible. Because once I found it, I was in. It's so good. Invincible is great. And I think some people are trying to tell me that they think the cartoon is better, but I disagree. Kingdom Come Elseworlds movie. This is from Derek Hoover. Yes, I agree. And you know what? Animated or live action, I don't care. I want it. You know what would be really cool? If they made it... This might be a hot take, and I know I'm completely against direct adaptions, but we've all seen Aha's Take On Me video. Animate Kingdom Come to look like that. Just do it, right? Second it? Well, then I third it. 100%. Right? Bacon McShigged. Does anyone have old cracked issues archived somewhere? So much great John Severin art. Just seems like it's going to get lost to the ether. There has to be. I'm sure of it. Crazy Magazine from Marvel is up there with Cracked and Mad. And What The? I don't know if anyone remembers What The from Marvel. But I love, I enjoyed that too when I was a kid. I love that stuff. Toy art. I picked up Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and I totally see why they want to adapt it. It's super fun. I agreed. It's such a good book. Ian J. I just binged the Archie TMNT Adventures. Holds up surprisingly well. It's amazing. I will praise that book for my whole entire life. And the IDW series Turtle Power, dude. IDW Turtles, especially now the recent stuff with Sophie Campbell at the helm. It is so good, right? Yeah, the dog. Yep, the Batman and Bill. Check it out, folks. Check it out. John Yakeba went by my shop to pick up Woman of Tomorrow and Authority, but they're sold out again. I had to get them. Had them ordered for me specifically. Just started to reread Morrison's Jeans and T-shirt Action Comics. See, I love how everyone's just getting like right back into this stuff. It's so good. Yes, Scott Williams. Right? Like it's so good. Derek Hoover, and to finally see Bill Finger's name in the opening credits of Batman v Superman, so great. I agree. It's and what was super sad is I'm not gonna spoil. I almost did. John Yakeba, Boob's Power Rangers books have been absolutely incredible. Agreed. I'm not picking those up enough. I've got like the first 4 trades, and I am not picking that book up enough. A perfect example of how to take a non-comic thing and make it the most of turning it into a comic. Really good stuff. And here's the thing too, Power Rangers should have been an easy, and like that's like, to me, the comic should almost be better than the show when it comes to Power Rangers. And kind of is, right? It's like the Turtles thing. I think the Turtles comics are way better than the 80s cartoon ever was close to. Ian J. Cracked Omnibus. Instant buy. Agreed. Seeing Kevin Conroy as Kingdom Come Batman was cool in the CW crossovers. Flash 739. Agreed. And I loved seeing him finally get to play a live action Batman. There's something about him specifically getting to earn that. And because he's so beloved. Like, I know I would say as far as like voice actors go, like I think Ashley Eckstein's up there with her Ahsoka stuff, but they didn't cast her. That's that. And it's not like Kevin Conroy was going to be up for any like theatrical Batman roles, but they did feature him in something as a live action Batman. And I love how they did it. Right? Toy art, the featured Forbush man, who I'm hoping appears in season 2 of She-Hulk or something, because he would just fit in so well with all of that, right? John Yakeba. Sophie Campbell kills it on TMT. It was an honor to do a cover for the series. For those of you who don't know, John Yakeba has done covers for IDW's TMNT. If you cannot find the back issues, They are in volume 4 of TMNT Rebirth. So if you can't find the back issues for the floppies, just know they are already now collected in trade, right? So be sure to check that out. Ian J, speaking of Morrison, I would love the Invisibles to return into be turned into a show. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Toy art. I would love to draw some Power Rangers. Just toy art. Just do it. Just start drawing. In fact, this is my challenge to you, Toy Art. I want you to start doing live sketches. John used to do this. John Kaba used to go on Twitch and draw and chat. And he stopped. He gave up. And it makes me so mad. So I challenge you to do that because I think it would be a lot of fun. Right? And I mean, streaming ain't easy. I don't even know how I do it. I don't understand how I do 2 shows a week and then sometimes guest appear on everyone else's shows. I don't understand. I sometimes wonder how I do it. And I've been doing it now. Yeah, like, trust me, streaming is not easy, and streaming solo, as you can see from earlier in the show, is also not easy, and that's okay. Right? Hang on, Derek Hoover had a really good one here. I don't know how Transmetropolitan has never become a show. I agree. I do not. That one to me screams HBO Max or Prime or Netflix, right? Because those you can do something like that. Give it a hard R, right? A hard rated R. That's what I want, right? John, your Kaba, yes, bring it back. Challenge accepted. Thank you. Right? What is this? A Mothman comic? You say, yes, just do it. Right? You know, and then here it is. Actually, this is from Toy Art. Actually, I'm going to be starting my Twitch up in a few weeks. I need to get back to cranking out my Mothman comic. And once it is up and running, Toy Art, you let me know, and I will definitely plug it on Toy Anxiety. I will plug it on this show. You know, maybe we can figure out a way to do some dual streaming, and I will just tell you, hey, draw some Batman while we talk Batman. That same offer goes to you, John, your Kaba, part 4. All right, I want to show you a few things that I'm recommending. These are the recommended reads of Doell, and also what I'm reading right now. So, you know how I am. Oh, hi, Mike Davis. Came in just in time. So here are my choices. Here are my picks for reads. My first one is Robin Year One. I did get all the floppies, but I have all 4 of them. I like them all together. This one's Chuck Dixon, right? Scott Beatty. This is amazing. An amazing. Just this is another one too. I would love to see adapted. And this story as well, I feel fits in very well with Matt Reeves' universe. Great. It's just so good, right? Mad Hatter kidnapping girls from from Robin's school, like girls he knows or go from school or just going missing, and Robin goes solo. So this is like a Robin Year One story. So good. I love this. I love this so much. And on the back end of that, this was the sequel. Same team. Scott Beatty, Chuck Dixon, Batgirl Year One. Right? So this is also my choice that just goes with it. This is what I believe was going to be loosely adapted from for the Batgirl movie. A little bit of this, a little bit of Burnside, and probably just some of their own takes as well. So this is definitely up there. So if your comic book shop has this, please definitely check it out. Do not sit on these Batgirl Year One and Robin Year One. I believe even Robin Year One now you can get it in like a nice hardcover and stuff too. I would love to get it. Before I get to the heavy hitters, This guy's a personal favorite of mine. And this book's a personal favorite of mine. This is written by Benjamin Percy. He's now a big deal in the comic book industry. But I mean, he was at this time too. But now I feel like he's everywhere. And Odo Schmidt, who's doing a DC versus vampires. Pardon me. He is an amazing artist. He's so good. He inspired me to even do a Green Arrow cosplay at some point. And there it is. Green Arrow Rebirth. They did a few volumes together. The art in this is just insanely good. I'm trying to find a nice good splash page, right? Like it's just so good. Odo Schmidt is one of the best, right? He's so good. And he's another one too that's just, you know, he gets a lot of shout outs on Twitter. But I feel like he's not getting enough shout outs from the from the people out on Mount Olympus. So I do just want to throw that out there. See, now I'm sitting here just talking to you guys and flipping through this book. I think I might have to give this one another reread. So good. So good. I love this book. Right? Toy art. I love Marcos Martin's art on Batgirl. I'm reading his new book with Brubaker Friday. Man, how good is Brubaker? Right? Actually, both those, right? And Marcos Martin's, like, so good. So good. All right, so now I'm going to go to couple heavy hitters for some back issues to look for. This one is, I don't know if it's, I actually don't know if people would consider this good, but I think this book is fun. I think this book is weird, and it came out in the early 2000s, like 1999 would have been like 2000. And I loved it. I think this is so much fun. It is a story that lives in my head, and it is Emperor Joker. Ed McGuinness's Superman is amazing, and getting to see draw characters like Joker, like Batman, mixed at Split Slick, Darkseid, Wonder Woman, right? Bizarro versions of everybody. It's really good. Jeff Loeb kills it. Jeff Loeb gets it. Jeff Loeb is another. I'm hoping. You know what's really brutal about this? Sometimes I'm always worried. Like Jeff Loeb's not one of the problematic ones, right? Because sometimes I got to be very, very careful about who I praise in the comic book industry because I can't keep track sometimes. But if he is problematic, please somebody let me know. If he's because I feel like he might be at this point, but at the same time, Ed McGuinness art, man, he's so good, and I wish they would put out more trades of that run because he did a good long run of Superman books, and they're so good. I love this, so it is super fun. Like I said, the art is insane. It is all over the place. It's and these covers on the inside with their cards, with their doppelgangers and stuff, like they're opposites. Like it's so good. Like these are so good. Also, I should have brought it out. Supergirl. That was also in the mid '90s. She was like a skater and stuff too. The grunge era Supergirl. I'm the Linda Danvers Supergirl. I'm a big fan of that one as well. And now going into Justice League, one of my other big recommendations is JLA Earth 2. Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely. We know that is a powerhouse of a team. When they get together and they do their thing, it is absolutely insane. And this is the first time reading this where I was legitimately scared of the Earth 2 crime syndicate. Because usually they were just kind of like, now it's redundant. We get so many Supermans, but bad, or edgy or whatever. But to me, this was kind of like the first time it was like, oh my God, this is legit scary. And there, the interaction between Owlman and Superwoman and Ultraman is just, it is absolutely wild. And again, I don't want to spoil anything because, if you have not read this, give this a shot, because this is insane. To me, I like this version of superheroes doing whatever the fuck they want, more so than the boys. And I actually find the Crime Syndicate, that world of the Crime Syndicate, I also find that more frightening and more like than what we see in the boys. So, again, everyone check this out. There's been some, and ever since this too, I feel like this has set the standard of what the Crime Syndicate would be and what they are now, kind of moving forward. And there was like a summer special where they do a little comic short of Owlman taking over the White House. And it has a little political stinger at the end from there. But it was really, really good. And I love these characters. I love them. And I was kind of like, do I get the toys that Todd made? I've almost bought the set from like when DC Direct made a series of these, and I sat on them and I regret it. And then Todd McFarlane started releasing them as Walmart exclusives, and I was like, do I get them? And for some reason they're not hitting on cylinders for me. However, I'm hoping these get the superpowers treatment as well at some point. But yes, everyone, please check this out. It's super good. And as for what I'm reading right now, so what I just finished was Tom King's Killing Time, David Marquez, right? This was great. This was one of those comics that made me really mad when it got to the big reveal, because I didn't flip through the book. I just cracked it open, started reading it. It wasn't spoiled for me on Twitter or anything, but people were talking about it. And it's Tom King writing Batman, so of course I'm going to get it, right? And when the big reveal came, I was like, son of a bitch, right? I should have known. It was there from page 1. What was I thinking? Like, how did I not? I just, felt so dumb. Tom King makes me feel dumb. He is such a good writer. He makes things so obvious that, like I said, sometimes he makes me feel just really, really, really dumb. Sorry. Yes, I do that every time. That is me. Sorry, McShig. Yes, I am one of those people, and I do it every time, and I need to get corrected every time, and I don't know why I do it. And I think that's a habit. I'll get them right. I'll get it right one day. As long as I don't say it that way, if I ever meet them, I just hope I don't say it then. That's all I'm going to say to that. So the other things I'm reading right now, I'm reading Catwoman, Teenie Howard, right? There's a few artists that are working on this, right? Nicole Leon Bengal, right? Jordan Belair, as well as the cover artist Zozo. You can follow her on Instagram, which I would highly recommend. And I would also recommend checking out her Twitch account, because she also does Hangout and Draws, right? And you can ask her questions and stuff, and she'll be sometimes working on covers. It's amazing stuff. And look at this. Look at this. So good, right? Yes, again, this book, right? Jenny Frison art as well. She was also doing covers. She's so good. Oh man, I swear I bought every one of her Wonder Woman covers because I'm insane. And then as for getting myself some classic Superman, this was discounted at the comic book store. I'm not really big into big, heavy hardcovers, but I said, screw it. I'm going to do it. I believe I deserve this. I picked up Superman, Man of Steel #1, right? The John Byrne era, Marv Wolfman, right? Jerry Ordway, I believe. Yep, Jerry Ordway. Yep, he's part of that as well. And you know what? I only had a few of these comics here and there. Usually, you'll find the covers from this series there used to be a Superman website, and it might still exist, and it's called Superman is a Dick. And it was time Superman was just kind of being a dick. And I know a few of those covers ended up on here. I believe the more famous one from this run was him with Big Barda walking away arm in arm, and Mr. Miracle going, "But that's my wife." And that Superman has inspired me since, appearing on Geek Dad Life. But yeah, so I picked up this. I am very, very, very excited to read these. I've never full on read this. John Byrne's art is amazing. If you don't think it's amazing, I don't know. I can't help you. But his run on X-Men's good. Anytime, I'll be honest, anytime John Byrne touches anything, it's great. And I think there's already 3 volumes of this out. So I don't know, man. Once I kind of get going, and if I'm going to enjoy it, I can see this being a very expensive set to get. But I don't want to miss out on it. So I'm going to be reading this as well. Right? But those are my pickups. Hang on. Let's see what John's got to say here quickly before. I'm just going to read some comments here before I bounce out of here. Thank you, everyone who's been hanging out with me all tonight. Right? I want to start reading Swamp Thing. I feel like there's a ton of cool stuff going on in those books that I'd love. I really enjoyed the television series from a couple of years ago. Yeah, the one that lasted half a season. That was hot fire. Yeah, dude, and it looked great. Right? I'm with you on that. I can't wait for Swamp Thing. I'm so kind of bummed out that it's the last one of the chapters for now. I mean, stuff's coming up for another 2 years. It's going to... I still got a feeling this chapter 1 slate is going to change a few times. Vickman to Santiago, the Man of Steel era was a fun one. Awesome. I can't wait to dive into it. Right? Lifelong Toy Collector. The Man of Steel Batman story #3 is pretty great. Oh, sweet. I honestly cannot wait to get into that. And Toy Art. Oh, man. Yep, I remember that site. Yeah, exactly. Byrne is a beast on that series. Fantastic Four as well. His Fantastic Four is just so next level. I'm with you on that. He's good. He's one of the best. Can't deny that. You cannot deny he's one of the best. Bacon McShig, Arkham Asylum Living Hell is still some of the most fun I've ever had with a Bat book. And it only had Batman in 2 panels. Great Ryan Sook art. Ryan Sook is great. Agreed. I don't think I've read this, and I think I kind of forgot about it. I'm going to try and look for that on the weekend. Thank you for that recommendation. Vickman de Santiago, I just bought Batman 100 and it's cool. That's freaking sweet. Yeah, awesome. I'm glad you guys are all here hanging out and talking comics with me. Because like I said, end of the day, we don't get these movies without the source. Right? That's just how it goes. That's, that's what it is. I'm just going to get this one here too quickly. Derek Hoover didn't write a script meant for Green Lantern Forever. I believe he did. That sounds awfully familiar now that you even said that. Yeah, Nolan, last book I picked up was Justice League Darkseid War. Nice. It's a good pick, right? Arkham Asylum, a serious house on serious Earth. Dude, yeah. Yeah, it's all good. Me too. I'm old too. And here we are, YouTubing. Oh, that's awesome. It's great. Everyone, again, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for talking comics. Please be sure to go check out your local comic book store. If you want more comic chat, please let me know. I know we usually kind of talk toys and movies lately. but I really did want to dive into comics, and because things were selling out, I just wanted people to go check out their comic store. And I know that's a thing that we're all kind of talking about right now. You know, right? All this stuff that's tying in. So again, you know, feel free to like the video if you liked hanging out, you know, with me. Hope Lexi should be back. I serious, Lexi should be coming back. And you know, you like hanging out with us, please give us some subscribe. We're just about halfway to 1,000 subscribers, and I want to do a big giveaway, and it might be even Spider-Verse related. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Right, but let's do it. 1,000 subscribers. So I guess we're on the road now. We're on that trek to 1,000. We're halfway there. So I want to do a big giveaway for that when we hit it, because you know what? Without any of you, I couldn't. You know, we can't do this together, and I love doing this together. I love that we have this open space to kind of like talk about comic books and these movies and DC in such a positive light, because it felt like for 5 years that has not been available. And that's why Lexi and I decided to start this show to begin with, because we wanted that space to kind of talk about DC freely, I guess, and not be buried with all the drama and that goes on with fans on the internet, I guess. So, you know, but again, thank you again so much for all being here. You know, and I'll see you. Don't forget, Tuesday, Toy Anxiety. We're doing the Jeffries. That's going to start at 6:30 Pacific. Before that, Geek Dad Life will be doing the pre-show for the Jeffries. So like a red carpet kind of thing. So be sure to check that out. And then after, I do I think after next week after Gotham City Tonight, I will be back on the Toy Anxiety stream for Patreon members, doing an extreme episode where we catch up on all the news that was happening during the week. So nobody skips a beat, unless you're not part of Patreon. So I'm for Toy Anxiety. So I apologize for anyone who isn't. And again, too, like, you know, once we hit 1,000, we're going to start accepting, like, you know, we're starting to do the members like most people do at 1,000, but I want to start doing members only streams for Gotham City Tonight once we hit that 1,000 as well. So I wanted to make sure there's extra incentive to help and support Lexi and I, so that we can, again, build this channel, make it great. So again, I'll stop doing the plugs. I'll stop begging for likes. I'll stop begging for subs. But thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I will see you next week on Toy Anxiety. I will see you next week here on Gotham City Tonight. Again, thank you, everyone. Have a great night and take care.